You drove 27 miles of freeway. How do you drive? Bump, dump, dump, bump, bump. Whoa, how do you drive? This is the Boomer Island Podcast. Welcome ashore, friends. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me again today on Boomer Island. This is the Boomer Island Podcast. Put on your sunscreen and hop on, whatever makes you comfortable. So you're running late for an appointment, like we do sometimes, even though it's good to start off 10 minutes early and be chill. But while you're hurrying to your car, your mind isn't focusing on what you're actually doing. And as you drive away from wherever you're leaving, you are on autopilot. We all do this, oblivious to the privilege, the convenience, and really the miracle of operating an automobile. Same reaction can be said for almost every time we hop in our cars. Whether we're going to the grocery store, going to our favorite restaurant, the joy of driving pretty much lost on us. Not only is it lost, but that initial joy, remember that when you first got behind the wheel, and the thrill of driving is often replaced with stress, or we're completely lost in our thoughts. So much so that we really aren't even aware that, hey, we are driving. And one of the best examples of illustrating that the thrill is gone, is the fact that we have road rage. Good lordy, some people even shoot other people. Road rage. Sounds like something contagious, because it is, and we have a lot of it. But hey now, we're boomers here, right now. We can figure out some different ways, can't we? Some different ways how to make driving more enjoyable. Maybe even make it fun again. Just think back. Remember when you first started driving? Hey, I'm sorry about all those exterior noises. I'm sitting here on the island. People doing some work over there. Hey, keep it down. I'm trying to do a podcast. My studio is kind of open air, so I apologize for that. But back to remember the first time you started driving. Maybe the first day you might remember, or maybe your dad took you out and into a parking lot or whatever it was. But when you first started driving on your own, you had your car, you're good to go. It was like that first taste of freedom, just chomping on that freedom. And our minds were so full of imagination. Your car was like your own private genie, it was granting you wishes. You felt more like you were flying than being on the ground. The open road, man, it was like cruising at 35,000 feet. So let's go back in time a little bit, boomers, and just remember that. Imagine, if you will. Now there's a plane. Dang it, everybody's leaving the island. All right, get out of here. Been a little crowded this summer. Hold on. Okay, first off, remember the joy? You're just plain happy getting in your car. You got the keys. I had a 65 Malibu Super Sport, 283 Chevy. That's okay, kid. I can't say Chevrolet. And, I worked up to save, and save to get it. And when I got in that thing, man, whoo, I might as well have been George Jetson. I felt like, wow, the world is my oyster. I can do whatever I want to do. And then remember the speed. I never had a motorcycle. I didn't do all these things. I got to do a few things here and there, like ride Arctic Cat snowmobile, but I didn't have one. And that was a ride, but, I got the speed. All of a sudden, I'm not riding a bike. And, of course, we'd all ridden in a car, but to have all that power, Mr. Powers, in our hands and at our feet, man, what a rush. I think I was 16 or 17 because they used to give us licenses when we were youngins back then. I was bulletproof, man. I was driving fearless, just a road monger. And I had no experience to warrant such confidence, I was just going for it. And then, of course, some of the other great things it gave us was the independence. I mean, now we're on our own, made you feel like a grown-up. You were free of all the chains and stuff of your home life, of your school. It was like your own operation. You're your own boss. You got to call the shots. It was awesome. And then there was the responsibility. I mean, most of us took on that responsibility. Back then, you could change your own oil, do the points and plugs, keep it clean, vacuum it, make it look sharp, do all the things, install a stereo. Just good stuff, right? And then, I mean, think of these things. These are pretty much all gone, right? And then one last thing I wanted to say about just the wonderment. It's just amazing. It was just like this magical thing. No matter what it was, if it was a clunker or whatever. I remember this one guy in high school had a frickin' Corvette. He seemed really spoiled, but I didn't care. It was like, as long as we had wheels, man, we were styling. So I know me, myself, and I really am grateful for my car. I appreciate it. I almost treat it like a pet. I thank it. But I'm not as, attentive to it as I was when I was in those early days. And I take it way more for granted. And I do all those things. I get lost in thought while I'm driving, and I don't even really realize where I'm at. And I guess we just get bored with it, and we don't understand how great it is. It's not like we had to ride a horse or walk from A to B. I mean, wow, we go visit somebody 60 miles away and don't even think twice about it. That's amazing. The only time anyone really gets excited is when they buy a new car. All excited, that smell of the new car. You got all the bells and whistles, and it's brand new or it's new to you. And but how long does that last for anybody? Give it a few months. I don't care if you're in a 65 Malibu Super Sport that's an old classic driving around, but if you drive something every day like a Ferrari to a Toyota Camry, it's just your car, right? So it's not really the vehicle, it's what we're doing in the vehicle that might be lost and what might help us enjoy the ride. Talking about trying to make driving more fun and make us happy. So if you actually think about what you're doing sometimes, the proverbial stay in the moment, I don't really like that saying, but it is. Be in the moment, realize whatever your car is. So say you're going to just hop in and go to the grocery store. Pay attention to it. You open the door, you look at stuff, you're in there looking at the dash, however you pre-trip it, instead of just autopiloting it and zone out. And then while you're driving, just really get that amazement, that wonderment of a young child maybe. You can do it. Look around. It's taking you like through a dream. I mean, there's beautiful trees over there. There's other cars. I mean, obviously you keep your eye on the road, but man, you can turn up the tunes, adjust the temperature. I mean, you're sitting in a nice seat. You could be going 80 down a road. It's a true miracle. So sometimes just grab onto that, and really embrace how lucky you are. I mean, did you have anything to do with the internal combustion engine or the electric car? Anything to do with making any cars? Maybe some of you out there work in Detroit or in some factory and you really do, but generally speaking, the invention of it, the creation of it, the design of it, and then how we put that product out to the people, and we've been so lucky. I mean, my whole life, there's been cars in my life. And think of it, since the beginning of humanity, I mean, that's just a snap of the fingers, a blink of the eye. Nobody had a frickin' car ever, and if you look at time, a timeline of humanity and how long we've had these wonderful transportation modes, and it gives us that freedom, and we just haul ass, do whatever we want, go anywhere almost, it's just so beautiful and incredible. And the other thing too, which helps me, if you see that beautiful car, and you might be a car collector, but I find if I don't compare and think, God, I wish I had that brand new Porsche, or that Aston Martin or whatever you might like. Whatever you got, that's your baby. You know what I mean? Take care of that, sweetheart. Okay. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I just think if we slow down a little bit and think about what we're actually doing and how incredible it is and what a miracle it is, we can embrace it again. Then, of course, the guy's going to cut you off or do something stupid, not let you in, and, you're going to get pissed. That's okay. Wash over, then get back into the miracle of driving. All righty, then. You think we can do that? Let's give it a shot, everybody. I got songs of the day. Of course, they have to do with cars. The first one's called The Distance by Cake. And the next one is called Silver Thunderbird by Mark Cohn. So if you give those a listen, I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoyed this time we spent together. I do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, just go out there and find some peace and spread the love. See ya.